another video. Today we're going to be doing the week 11 recap, and I know I'm late on this one, but I got so caught up and I was so behind in other stuff as well that I kind of just forgot about this, so I do apologize for that. But we're going to be recapping week 11 and everything that went on there. So kicking it off, we have the Titans taking on the Packers for Thursday night. I picked the Packers here. I was wrong. They came back to bite me in the rear end. But the Titans came out. They played their game very, very well. They looked like kind of like the Titans from last year, like when they had A.J. Brown, like the year before that, whatever you want to call it. It looked like A.J. Brown was back in this offense, and the Titans were moving the ball very prolifically, with Derrick Henry running the ball very well. Tannehill having a relatively solid game outside of a boneheaded pick. But overall, the Titans played a good game, and Christian Watson is starting to come on as the Packers' legitimate wide receiver one, which is nice because he had, 5 touchdowns in like 2 games or something like that. He had 3 against Dallas and then 2 against Tennessee. So Christian Watson's starting to come on, but yeah, good game overall. Considering it was Thursday night, it wasn't horrendous. It wasn't like, Colts Broncos bad, but it wasn't the best game of the year. Then I guess we could just roll down the line here because these are 10 o'clock games. The Commanders, short and sweet, kind of just took care of business. Their defense looked good. Almost any defense can look good against the Texans. Davis Mills kind of had, just kind of like a pity, just garbage time rushing touchdown. Because at that point, the Texans were not going to come back. The Commanders are on a completely different level, at least compared to the Texans. And speaking of the NFC East, we got the NFC East leaders, the Eagles. They went and took on the Colts. And for a minute, I kind of thought the Colts were going to run away with this one. But nope. The Eagles, they stayed strong. And they defeated the GOAT coach, Jeff Saturday, who was able to defeat Josh McDaniels. Jalen Hurts took it in for a game-winning touchdown, and the Eagles were able to win by 1, despite a sloppy performance at the beginning of the game. But it doesn't matter how you start. Matters how you finish. That's what she said. Next up, we go to the Panthers and the Ravens. And now, this one, I'm kind of shocked that the outcome, at least with the score. I'm not shocked that the Ravens won. I'm just shocked that the Ravens didn't put up more points. How do you put up only 13 points against the Panthers? The defense did its job. It's Baker Mayfield. Almost any defense can do good against Carolina. Unless you're the Buccaneers. But anyways, the Baltimore Ravens, they did what they needed to do. It wasn't pretty, but they got the job done. All right. So we'll go over here. Actually, do you want to go over here? Yeah, we'll go over here. So we'll start with the Jets and the Patriots game. And this overall was just a very uneventful and very boring game. Much like the Panthers and the Ravens, except neither team scored an offensive touchdown. The Patriots ended the game on a punt return touchdown, and you know what pissed me off the most? Well, not pissed me off, but it just kind of ticked me, and just kind of made me be like, wow. Was the post-game interview with Zach Wilson when he was asked hey, when your defense is only giving up 3 points, do you feel like you let your defense down because you didn't put up that many points? He just said no. And he just kind of brushed it off. I don't know if he misunderstood the question or what. Or he genuinely doesn't think he let his defense down. What do you think? You're going to put up 3 points and just assume that it's good? No, in this day and age, you got to put up at least 27, 30 points? To, somewhat be in this game? Against good offenses like Buffalo, Cincinnati, and Kansas City, who, oddly enough, it just came off the top of my head, and they all put up 30 plus. But yeah, dude, you can't be like that. Guys I'm not even going to say Josh Allen and Mahomes. I'm going to say guys that are in his draft class. Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, dude. We'll get to this game next. But Justin Fields, he legitimately apologized to his teammates. He had an injured shoulder, and even though he threw an interception, I don't know, dude. He's playing really good football, and I think this guy is going to be really good. And speaking of the Bears, I kind of recapped it a little bit. He threw a pick, but, I believe he also threw a touchdown, and he ran for one as well. The defense, still playing very atrociously. You got some work to do on that. You should not have traded Roquan Smith, dude. That was just a boneheaded move by the front office. I get not wanting to pay him, but, dude, are you serious? It is what it is for the Bears, honestly. But I think Chicago does have a bright future. Atlanta, not so much. They need to get a good quarterback, or a quarterback other than Marcus Mariota. But both teams played relatively solid. I think Cordell Patterson had kind of a good game. But yeah. Anyways, I just kind of skipped to this one. Falcons won over the Bears. This game, dude, like, it gave me a heart attack from, like, at the start and then at the end. The Browns went up 7-0. We got a field goal. Browns got a field goal to go up 10-3. And then we took the lead going into the half, and it looked like we were going to decimate the Browns. And then they got, we were up 31-16 in the fourth, and then with less than 30 seconds to go, the Browns got a field goal. And then the Bills, being the Bills, nearly gave up an onside kick to the Cleveland Browns. I nearly had a heart attack and started playing my depression playlist. So, yeah, dude, that was just brutal to watch. Like, Buffalo, we had so many things going right. Like, we got the rushing game going. Allen didn't turn the ball over, which is promising going into this Thursday night game. Not Thursday night, Thursday morning, Thursday noon, afternoon, wherever you live. It's a Thursday game on Thanksgiving in Detroit. Again, I just saw a funny thing that if the Bills beat the Lions, they would tie Detroit for the most wins at Ford Field in one season, this season. But dude, I thought that was funny. I was like, wow, that's crazy. But anyways, Bills, we did a lot of good things, but then there are other things that we need to, be better on. We need Tre'Davious White especially, though, because Cooper just looked like the second coming of Jerry Rice and Randy Moss. Like, what the heck happened there, Buffalo? But at least we got J. Poe back. Jordan Poyer, baby. Milano was a beast, won AFC Defensive Player of the Week, which is really nice. Next up, we have the Rams and the Saints. The Rams actually did better than I thought they would. Meaning they didn't win the game, but they put up more points than I thought they would without Cooper Kupp. And considering that it's the Saints' defense, the Rams didn't do half bad. But I think the Rams are going to get absolutely smacked around by Kansas City, but we'll get to that game in just a second. Detroit and the Giants. This game was actually, I think the Giants had the lead for a little bit, but then the Lions started to pull away, and it looked like they were going to blow them out. And I think I said it before. I think I said it in my predictions. Like, I picked the Giants to win, but then I said, like, this could be a trap game for the Giants. I don't think I said trap game, but I said, like, this could be, like, the old Giants coming out. We could see a little bit of that against the Lions, and I think we did see a little bit of that. But the Lions, good win, third straight win, and now they're second in the division. And then, speaking of the division, the Vikings, what the heck happened here, dude? I picked the Cowboys to win, and I'm not shocked that they won. But, dude, 40-3. Minnesota, you're telling me that you can come back from a 27-10 deficit, make my life a living hell, and I have to hear all this stuff about how the Bills aren't real contenders, and then you go do that with the Cowboys. Are you serious? Are you kidding me? Oh my God, dude. The Cowboys, they played good football overall. Their defense played really nice. They locked up Justin Jefferson, and they didn't give up a touchdown. And Tony Pollard looks to be the RB1 in Dallas. I don't think the Cowboys need Ezekiel Elliott, dude. Just let Tony Pollard be. All right. But anyways, sloppy game for the Vikings. Horrendous game for the Vikings, but really good from the Cowboys. But the Vikings, I think, will get a bounce back at some point. This is the Monday night game. We'll talk about that one last. And then I actually saw the end of this game because I was out with my family, and they had the Raiders-Broncos game on the TV. So Derek Carr, he threw an overtime touchdown to Davante Adams. And this game honestly just kind of looked very uneventful. I think each team scored a touchdown. Adams had 2 touchdown receptions. I don't remember who got the touchdown for Denver, but it wasn't Russell Wilson. I don't think. But overall, this was just a very uneventful, low-scoring game that the Raiders took in overtime on an electrifying pass. Well, electrifying. He was wide open. So, it was a deep pass to Davante Adams, but, how do you let a guy like that get wide open, Nathaniel Hackett? In a battle of incompetent head coaches, Josh McDaniels ended up taking the dub. And speaking of teams taking dubs, we got the Cincinnati Bengals and the Steelers. I think I actually picked the Steelers in this one for the upset, And honestly, this was a very high scoring. I mean, surprisingly, not honestly. I mean, clearly it's a high scoring game, but surprisingly, it was a high scoring game on both sides. I did not think either team would get 30 points. Pickett didn't look too bad. Burrow, despite not having Jamar Chase, played very solid. He played his balls off. And the Cincinnati Bengals, they played pretty solid. They played good enough to get him the win over TJ Watt and the Steelers. Get some revenge for week 1, you know? Next up, we got the Chiefs and the Chargers. Now, this one I actually did see a lot more of. And, of course, the person on my work league, he has Kelsey and Mahomes, so I lost because of that. Thanks a lot, Mahomes and Kelsey. Thank you, Kermit. All right, but overall, both offenses played pretty well. Keenan Allen came back, and I think Mike Williams came back too, but Mike Williams left. But Keenan Allen was in. He fumbled at some point, and then Herbert connected with him on a deep shot, which is really, really cool. But the Chiefs doing what they always do. The Chargers scored, put them up 27-23, I want to say. And they gave way too much time to Mahomes and the Chiefs. And unlike the Bills-Chiefs game, the Chiefs actually came back and ended up winning the game on a game-winning touchdown. So there you go. And Kansas City still keeps their first place lead in not just their division, but the entire conference. While the Chargers, they're still in the playoff race, but they're on the outside looking in, 5-5. And last but not least, we have what probably was not this probably shouldn't have shocked anybody. The Niners beating the ever-living crap out of the Cardinals. I'm not shocked. You have a backup quarterback in. You can't expect to have a close game with one of the league's best teams. I think the Niners and the Cowboys will meet in the NFC Championship. I'm just throwing that out there. Totally off topic. The Niners look way too good, and the Dallas Cowboys, they also look way too good. Both offenses aren't the best, but their defenses are fantastic. Actually, both the offenses are very, very solid. I can't be saying that when Jimmy G is throwing up 4 touchdowns and your running backs account for most of your scoring. So I can't really say these offenses aren't the best, which these are pretty solid offenses. But the defenses are, in my opinion, the highlights of both these teams. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. I could be wrong, the Eagles and the Vikings, or the Vikings could meet in the NFC Championship game, but we'll see. So, yeah, with that being said, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this recap. And let me know what you thought in the comments below. Were there any games that you shocked you guys? Were there any games that you were not surprised by? So, with that being said, you guys, I'll see you guys in a little bit for my picks. Be sure to hit that like button down below, subscribe if you're new, and click that notification bell to get all the latest news on all my latest content. And with that being said, I'll see y'all in a bit.